Hi, this is the start of a full video series where we walk through one of the most complex individual tax returns you'll ever see. Meet David Simpson, a married California taxpayer filing jointly. He isn't real, but his tax situation absolutely is. We built David from the ground up to represent the most complicated tax return a normal family could ever face. And for this series, he's going to follow the entire thing by hand. No software, no automation, just paper, pencils, and the IRS instructions. This isn't just a tax return, it's a full stress test of the entire US tax system, packed into one family, 1 year, and one giant stack of paper. And David has decided to file all of it manually. Let's begin. Step 1. He gathers every document he can possibly find. Before touching a single IRS form, David needs a binder. Actually, a few binders. Step 2. He has to figure out which forms apply to him. Collecting documents was the easy part. Now David has to become his own tax software. Nobody tells him which IRS forms he needs, so he starts Googling questions like these. And this is where he discovers the real problem. His documents don't tell him which IRS forms to file. He has to figure that out himself. So he starts building his own checklist of IRS forms. Collecting documents was the easy part. Choosing the forms was the most painful part. Now comes the worst part. He has to read all the IRS instruction PDFs. Every form David needs has his own rulebook. Dozens of pages explaining what counts, what doesn't, exceptions, worksheets, carryover rules, special situations, and links to even more instructions. He can't fill out a single box until he understands the instructions behind each one. By the time he's done, he's read hundreds of pages just to prepare for filling out the forms. Step 4. He must follow the IRS carryover lines. Now that David has all the forms and understands the instructions, he faces the next nightmare, following the carryover lines. Every IRS form tells him to move numbers somewhere else. Carry this to Schedule 1, line 8, enter this on Schedule 3, line 5, report this on Form 1040, line 20, attached to Form 4562, line 6, etc. Step 5. He can't touch Form 1040 until everything else is done. Most people start with the Form 1040. David can't, because when you file on paper, the 1040 is the last form you fill out, the final summary. Every number on it must come from another form or schedule. Only then he plug everything into the 1040. It's like assembling a car from scratch, and the 1040 is the final windshield, the last piece you install once everything else is bolted together. Step 6. He must attach every document in the exact IRS order. Before David can even start filling out his 1040, he has to prepare all the attachments the IRS requires, and he must stack them in a very specific order. The reason for this is that paper returns aren't scanned by humans, they're scanned by machines. That's the key. The IRS uses high-speed scanners to digitize paper returns. Those scanners expect documents to be placed in a certain sequence, so the right numbers match the right forms, schedules link correctly to the 1040, credits match the supporting documents, nothing gets misread, skipped, or separated. If the order is wrong, returns can be delayed, misprocessed, flagged for review, or missing credits, refunds. Here's what needs to be stacked in the correct order. So here's the real truth regarding David's tax return. If you file a return this complex on paper, you aren't just filling out forms, you're doing the job of tax software. You must look up which forms apply to you, read the IRS instructions for each one, and follow the carryover lines. It's possible, but it's extremely time-consuming and easy to mess up. And that's where David's at now, sitting at his kitchen table with a mountain of IRS forms and 3 different instruction PDFs open. He wanted to learn the tax system, and he will, but he's about to learn it the hardest way possible. Next video, we'll start the real work, beginning with Schedule C for his Uber and DoorDash income. See you in Part 2.